everybody, welcome to Lisa's Art Room. Tonight we're going to be finishing up this little golden book junk journal, and we're going to be making a charm tassel and sewing in the signatures. So y'all come sit. I can't talk today. Y'all come say hi. Let me know you're here, and we are currently live on Facebook if you see the little red button at the top left. If not, you're catching a replay either here or on YouTube. So I'm going to get you guys pulled up so I can see chat. Okay. And Dawn let me know sound is okay, so that's good. Sure, we're up all the way. All right, so a couple of things to do. I think I can get them both done. We're going to try. I will probably do charm. Well, first I'm going to show you the little photo page I wanted to finish. I'll show you that first so I don't forget. And then we'll do the tassel and then we'll sew the signatures in. Okay. All right, so a couple people here. Sound is good. I am going to go ahead and pull this up because it's going to be a little bit long. Sorry about all the bumping around. Straight. Okay. Not too glary. I think we're good. All right. So I finished up that little page I was talking about, and I just wanted to show you before I took all the stuff out, because I took all the stuff out. So all of the decorations and everything have been pulled out because I didn't want you all to have to watch me do that. So I went ahead and did it, except for the one page that I finished, which is, I think, H. So F, G, H. Here. Okay. So I left a little spot here for it in my pile. So what I did for this page is, I'm just going to set that there for a second. Set that there for a second. All right, so I made a little journaling card, and then that goes in that pocket there. Okay, and then for these little frames, I attached them with a little bit of glue just on the edges. And then I made a little pull-out thing for you to attach a photo to, or whatever you want, and it just slides back in there like that. So same thing here, and these are just little tabs I did. So that's what I did with that page, and I just ended up using that embossed piece that I had for the little tabs. And it worked well. So now I'm going to pull these out and add them to this pile. These probably won't move. Yeah, I think I can leave those, but I'm going to pull this one out. So what I do when I'm pulling out these papers is I'm just looking for things that are loose and might move around as we're trying to sew in signatures. And then I put them all in order. So they are all alphabetical, and they have a sticker on each item, and I have a sticker on the page where it goes. Okay, so now this is very thin because all the goodies are out and right in here in this pile. Okay, so I did that off camera so you wouldn't have to watch. So this is pretty much ready. We've got our two signatures that are ready to be sewed in. I did add ribbon and materials on some of the edges, not every single edge, but a lot of them. I tried to match pages, things like that. So some of these have different fabrics. You got the candy fabric there, and then slippery. And I've used, wow, can't hold on to anything. like this material. This is one of my older materials, but it matched that page real well. And I did use a little bit of lace where I couldn't really figure out anything else, like this white, just the lace worked best. So I just basically went through, tried to match. I put it all on with Fabri-Tac, so it's all glued. I didn't sew it because then you have to deal with both sides and all that. So it's just best match that I happen to have for some end fabrics on our pages. And that just evens everything up, so you have, you know, somewhat of a more nicer edge on there. Okay, so that's been done. I added an eyelet to the top, and I put a little jump ring in there because the hook I'm going to do was not lying flat just by hooking it through, so this will help it to lay right on the edge. So I did that off camera, and we're going to jump over to the tassel for that for right now. All right, so for my tassel, I have all my little ribbons I've picked out, and I have a few charms. I don't have beads. I didn't have any bead colors that were really matching. So what I do on these, I like to use these little Tim Holtz, I don't know what they're called. They're little hooks, but I'm sure they have a name. I just don't have the package handy. But anyway, they open. They're a little stiff, so you have to kind of use some strength, but they hook like that, and they go in like that. But they come like this, with this little chain straight, okay? And what I do is I like to hook one of the ends, I'm trying to get the lighting to help you see. It's too busy. All right, so I hook one of the ends into the other, you know, next to the hole right there. So that, then I end up with this little loop that I put my ribbons through. And that's just the way I've been doing it. It seems to work well. There are lots of ways you can add your tassels on there, but that's what I've been doing. So I only wanted to show you that. And then you'll need, you know, a couple of pliers for jewelry type making stuff, and ribbon. I add some ribbons. This happens to be wax thread. I add some that I can tie things to. It just makes it easier for tying on charms or something, because, you know, I can't really tie them onto these fatter ribbons. So I'd add a couple of thin ones in there for that purpose. And then I have my little jingle bells, and I'm just going to put a couple on there probably. I would have preferred having maybe smaller jingle bells, but I didn't. So I'll probably do, I don't know, we'll pull out 3. Throw those in there. I think I got these from Dollar Tree. Okay, so we've got that. And then all you want to do is organize your ribbon into the order that you want. So you want to think about what you want on the top and, you know, bottom and all that. And then I usually just throw a piece of tape or something down so I know where the middle is. This is way longer than it needs to be. When I was cutting it, I didn't take into consideration how far it drops down with the jump ring and then the hook and then the chain. So it drops a good 2 inches. So I've probably got a good 2 inches too long here. It's not a big deal, but it is what it is. So I'm just going to put a little bit of tape for my center. And it doesn't really matter where, just so I'm going to try to get center on camera for y'all. So somewhere about, yay. Try to find a pencil or a pen or something. Just want to mark kind of a center. And that's just so I can figure out which ribbons go where and put them all together. And then I try to get them through the little hole on this. If I can't do it, I can unhook it and wrap it around and rehook it, but I'd rather just pull them through. It's easier. So I've got several colors, couple of different greens. That's a dark green. I think I'm going to put this red one on the top, which will be the bottom right now. I was debating on that or the green, but I think I want the red because I think it'll contrast better with the cover and bring out, you know, there's some reds on there. So I think I'm going to do the red first. So, and I wanted to use this. I hadn't used it. Which is the front? I think it's that. All right, so I'm putting it upside down. And I'm just going to guesstimate. I don't have my sides marked. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-ish. Is the end of 8-ish. And I think I counted this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-ish. That's pretty close. So somewhere in there is where I want to put it. And it does not have to be exact because, like I said, I'm going to trim it a lot. And then I just go through and pick out what I want next. And it might be some of the string ones. Like I've got some of the baker's twines. I've got a gold one, a green one. This is from a basketball hoop I took apart. I think that's what it was. No? Yes? No? I don't know what that's from. I don't think it's the basketball hoop. It feels like the same material, but I don't think it is. Some wax thread, I've got a couple of ones. I've got a green and a red. And those will be for mostly tying. And then I found some eyelash trim. That's pretty. So we'll throw that in there somewhere. Now, I put a little drop of glue. You don't absolutely have to, but because of the way I work it into the chain, it does help me keep it together while I'm doing that. So for that reason, I do usually put just a little drop of glue in between my layers. So we'll go with that. This is also relatively fat, and I tend to want the fatter ones on the top and the bottom. So I think I'm going to save this one for the bottom. I could save that one, but I think I'll save that one. I don't know. I'm debating if it's too fat for the bottom. You know what? We'll put it right here, but I'm going to sandwich something in between it. How about I sandwich a couple of these little guys? Because there's plenty of room there. So we'll sandwich this green in there. And I can also tie to this baker's twine. It's a little trickier just because it, wow, that's so uneven. You got to kind of watch the ends. Right now they're glued. I just throw a drop of glue on the ends so they don't unravel. So I'm just adding some glue. Now pick up my next color, which we can go with this gold, I guess. And just try to find it kind of sort of center. Like I said, it doesn't have to be exact. I'm using our glitter because it dries fastest, and I would like it to dry before I move on. And then, let's see, we could do this eyelash trim there. About there, and then maybe a green. Go with this green. I'm trying to keep it nicely bundled so I can get it through the hole of the little hook. And maybe I want that one on the bottom. I'm leaning toward that one on the bottom. Let's go ahead and put that fat green one here too. I think it'll be all right there. Keep it squished. Sometimes the glue doesn't hold, but hopefully it'll hold long enough for me to get it in there. And let's do some more of these little thin ones. So we'll put a couple of lines, 2 wax threads on there. And I'll sandwich those between, I think, the gold. Actually, I should have put that red already. You know, I might not use that red. I don't really need it. I'm not sure I like the way it is laying. We're going to leave that one out. I'm going to do this gold. Where's this go? Try to sandwich those. I'm also using a small chain this time. Sometimes I use that bigger hook I showed at first. And I don't know how much room is in there, so I don't use the small ones a lot because they don't hook through the thing without using a jump ring, whereas the bigger ones will. And then this, I don't know if it's got a top or bottom. Looks pretty similar, so it doesn't matter. And that should give us a nice bundle. So we just want to make sure it's somewhat dry. Oops, I cool my fingers. Now I'm going to have to clean off my iPad. So let's try to get that dry. I just don't want them to move while because getting it through there is challenging. A little. It's not crazy challenging. All right, let's see if it's dry enough, if it's going to stay together. It's not too bad. That might be all right. So all I'm going to do is try and feed through that little hole. Now I'm going to be pulling one side, so I'm going to move just to the, is it staying? It's not staying. Hold on. Pop loose on me right there. Where did you move? Oh, that didn't glue at all. Does not like that material. Sometimes the glue and the materials are just not compatible. At least not unless you hold it for a minute. And I'm not holding it long enough, so. Try it again. Stay. Stay, stay, stay. I might try clipping it. Alright, so I'm going to try clipping it because it's not really holding. And I'm going to try feeding it through right here. So all I'm going to do is try to gather a little section of it. And feed it through my chain. We can adjust it later, figure out which one's the ends. All right, so pull all those through. Hopefully it's staying. I think the clip, oh, I missed one. No, I didn't. Okay, I thought I did. All right, so there, that's good. It's a little loose, but I think it's fine. All right, so right here, and then I just find the bottom of it. See if I'm where the glue is. I think I am. Like I said, I have plenty of room, so find the bottom of it. I'm going to close this for a second because it's getting in my way. All right, make sure it's even. I could have taken off some links, but it's not a big deal. It'll just hang down a little low. But it's easier without taking off the links to get it through, so I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to take some, maybe the red. I'll go with the red. It'll hide the best. I'm going to use the wax thread. I think it'll tie around that well. So I'll grab some of this to tie around. Maybe yay big. I don't know what color. I think I'm going to do green for the journal. Debated if I wanted to do just like a brown or I wanted to do green. So I'm going to put a little tail first and kind of on the inside and then try to see where it's at. Hopefully I won't lose it. I'll try not to lose it. So I've got the little tail in there. And then I'm going to wrap this side around the base of our ribbons. Nice and snug. So try to keep it snug. A bunch of times. And then I'm going to grab our little tail. I'm going to make a little loop here. I think this is how I do it. No, that's not how I do it. I don't know how I do it. We're just going to tie a knot. There's a trick to it. I don't remember it, so we're just going to tie a knot. So tie a knot. Hopefully the knot will go mostly on the inside. That's the ideal, is to hide it in the middle. If I can keep it from wiggling. The wax thread is sometimes tricky. We're kind of over on the side. I'm trying to stay where the opening is. We'll give it a couple of pulls tight, and then I'll try to hide it in the middle there. I don't like to trim it too much because it might come undone, and I'd really rather not deal with that. I might actually pull it through and tie it to something else if I can find the middle. What color did I use? Oh, I used the green. Let's see. I'm going to pull this side. I'm just trying to hide it as best I can. There is a method to this madness, but I always forget how to do it. I'm just trying to hide it in the center there as best I can. Alright, let's see if that looks better. Is it kind of hidden? If not, I can always trim it. But it's okay. We'll leave it. I feel like I'm crooked. Hold on. Pull this chain. Alright, there's fairly straight. We're just going to leave the tassels out. They're showing, but I don't care. Alright, so there's that. It's hooked on there. It's got like a little, loop around. It's, not perfect, but it's okay. Alright, so we got a little tassel. Now we got to tie some stuff on it. We don't need this anymore. Don't need that. Try to stay in camera, guys. Let me see where that camera is showing. I'm going to use these to kind of keep me in. I'm mostly having an issue with the top and the bottom, so right there. Try to stay in this area so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to find long pieces to tie things to, so it doesn't really matter where. Pick the ones you want. I've got, like I said, I've got some bells. We'll spread those out. I've got candy cane. I'm not going to do repeats. I need to buy another pack of these. I went through the whole pack. It was like 100. I don't know how many. It was a lot. So one snowflake, one candy cane, a bell, and then I've got one more of these little pine cones. We'll put those on there. So just pick where you want it to go. It doesn't really matter. If you want one to be on the top, go ahead and pick that. I might do this really big one with the little bells. It's cute. It's got like bells and ribbons. Oops. It's got bells and ribbons. It's pretty big, so I think I will stick it on the top area. So I'm going to see if I can figure out a spot to put it or it'll look good. Maybe I'll pull this through the middle and tie it to one of these. Where's the middle? I know it's the green one, so. Hold on, stay in the camera. Alright, I'm going to pull one side of this red, because I have a whole bunch of reds on the outside. Pull one side over here. And the other side there. I don't know if it's the same one, but I don't guess it matters. And I'm going to try to get this to stay kind of at the top. Sometimes I hook it with a hook on here, but I think I'm going to just have it on this part. So I'm going to put it there. Let's see if I can do this. If I put it like that, and maybe this one. I don't know if this will work, guys. We're going to try. Can I get that through there? It's a big hole. Oh my gosh, I just can't see. I really can't see at all. Alright, I got it. So if I do it like that, yeah, that might work. Alright. So I'll do it like this. And then I'm going to go around around this way once, and go around this way once, and then I'll tie this. I should tie it in the back. We'll tie it once in the front, and then I'm going to flip it over, trying to stay in the front where I think it's going to lay. I think it's going to lay this way. So I'm going to try to stay in the middle. I'm going to lose these two things. I can't tell which one's which. Flip it over. I might cut that long, short one off. Where is up with you? All right, and we'll tie it in the back. Make sure we're still centered. Yep, pretty good. All right, we'll tie it back here. Okay, there. Now that's just kind of on the front, and then I'm just going to get rid of this little short one. I think I can cut it. I might throw some glue just to be sure. I think it's tied like 3 times. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue there before I cut it, because I don't want that knot to come undone. That should help. Hopefully. Hopefully. All right, there. So we got that one on the front. That'll look cute. And then we pick some other strings. So we can put, we'll go with this little snowflake. I kind of wish I'd had some beads, but yeah, it's not a big deal. As long as it has some charms. I don't know what's up with that green one. Tie that there. Remember that I don't have a lot of length on this because it's shorter than I thought. Definitely shorter than I thought. So we'll do that there, and then we'll put a bell on the end of it. I do need to check the length of this so I can see how long I have. So let's see. So once it's hooked on, it's going to be hanging there. So about here is where it's going to come to. So let's just see. I'll tell you what, I'll cut one of my green ones for reference, because they're on the inside. That way if it's not right, it won't matter. This one. Alright, so we want to make sure that when we're tying things on, we don't go longer than that. Otherwise it'll be sitting below the journal, and we don't want it sitting below. A couple times. You can do 2 or 3, it's up to you. I might do 3. The wax thread, like I said, can be a little easier to unwind. I'm not going to trim it yet. We'll trim it later. Let's see, we got this green one. Throw something on here. How about a snowman? Now try to get them at different heights if I can. Somewhat different. So, not here. Totally went too many times around. It's okay. It'll be fine. And one more knot. Sorry, it's hard to stay out of the picture. Hey, Deborah. All right, so we got that one, and then we got room for, we could do the pine cone maybe. Debating on where I want the other bell. You know, I have 3 of these thin ones, don't I? I should have 4. There should be another green one. All right, I'll put one more bell on this one. I would like them to stay separate though. What if I put one on baker's twine? Think it would cooperate? It might. We'll put one on the baker's twine. So I've got 2 there. I've only got 1 on here, but I don't have to have 2 because I don't have a lot of charms, honestly. I'd love to have some beads, but I don't have any that match. that I could find. I felt like I had some, you know, the regular, you know, the kids' beads, but I don't know where they are. We'll just throw this little pine cone on here. Just so there's two. So make sure I'm above my little spot here. Stay. Alright, so about there. Let's double check. Oh, it's too long. Pull you back up. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Is it moving? I can't tell. It's not really moving. Huh. It's not cooperating, sorry. I gotta unloosen it. Get it to move. Come on. There. That's a good spot. Okay. Okay, we'll leave that dangle. Let's see. I think I'll put on this green twine one of these bells. This baker's twine. I'll just put another bell. Try to get it at a slightly different spot. About there, maybe. I might put a little drop of glue on this. I'm not sure. We'll see how well it tightens. I don't think it's going to tighten great. Yeah, I'll put a little drop of glue just to be safe. Tighten it down real good. All right, there. And then we could maybe put something on the gold one. Should I do two or one? I had that other green one. I was going to put these on, I think. Yeah, we'll just put this bell on it. So I might have to go higher. Go up here. Now, when I trim these baker's twine after they don't unravel, because all that pretty gold stuff will totally unravel, and there won't be any pretty gold stuff. All right, where's that other green one? Is this it? Nope. This is it. There it is. I found it. All right. So green. We'll just throw these little bells on here, and somewhere in the middle-ish. Yeah, that's a good spot. Make sure it's nice and snug. And we got a candy cane left. Like I have more red. I'll just throw it on the red one. Where's the length? I'm gonna try to put this one kind of. Oh, I might put it higher. I'm debating if I want higher or lower. Maybe lower. We'll try to go almost to the end because it's going to hang down a little bit because it's long. Let's see if we can keep it where I want it. That good? Oh, I'm way high. I don't know how I did that. Can I get this one to wiggle loose? Oh, it moved on me. It moves on you when you don't want it to move on you, but it won't move on you when you do want it to move. A little bit, almost. A little bit more, right there. That's where I want it. All right, tie a knot. Good knot. We'll do one more. Okay, I'm not gonna trim it yet. All right, that should be good. Got all the things I wanted, I think. A few charms left. I need to go buy more. And now we just want to kind of get everything lay right. I'm going to zoom out a little bit because I'm going to get right here. make sure everything's laying right before you go trying to trim it. It's all jingly. All right, that looks pretty good. We're gonna hook it on. I might have to unhook it again to do the signatures, but I just want to see where it's laying and be sure. I'm gonna pull these out. All right, so which side? So the front is this. Hopefully it lays right. Sometimes does, sometimes doesn't. I think this is right. All right, that'll be good. All right, so see all that room? I knew I had a lot of room. How close did I get on that green? Where is it at? There it is. Oh, pretty darn close. All right, good. So we're just gonna make sure it's all untangled. And we're gonna trim off the bottom. I got close on that one bell, but I think I'm good. All right, keep it together. I'll trim it right there. Now, some of these I'll have to either tie or something, so they might be a little shorter. I'm looking for good scissors. I think I'll use my big ones. I don't think there's anything in there bad. And I'm just going to go straight across. And then you could save these for collaging, or who knows. They might be good for something, they might not. All right, now anything that's going to unravel, so like this gold, definitely start unraveling. So just twist some glue on there. Enough that it won't unravel. There's something fuzzy on my glue. Probably that eyelash stuff. It's fuzzy. All right, so make sure that's good. There should be a couple more. There's green. These just unravel real. I could just tie a knot, but honestly, it's easier just to do the glue than trying to tie a knot. And the glue works fine. I just twist in the direction that doesn't unravel it. And one more gold one. And the gold, I'm going to come up just a little bit because that gold stuff is bad about unraveling. I think that'll be good. All right, so those don't unravel. These, they might fray a little. Yeah, they'll fray a little. So we'll heat them up. Not my favorite thing to do on camera, but try to do it carefully so we don't burn ourselves. These are little lighters I get from Dollar Tree. They actually have like a neon flame, but you usually can't see it in my lighting. But it has like a neon look to it. Just doing it just a little bit. Did I get that one? Nope. Try to get them all. You can feel it if you do it because it's got a little bit of an edge, but not too much. I don't think this, oh, it unfrays too. Wasn't sure, but it does. All the polyester ones will melt. Cotton will not. You just want to catch just the edge real quick. Don't leave it there too long. It'll catch on fire if you've never done it. Most of us, I think, have done that before. Did you get them all? Yeah. I don't know about that one. Yeah, that one's going to fray too. It's got some cotton, but it's also got polyester in the middle. Just a little. Okay, got them. All right, so now we have our little pretty charm dingle. Our little charms and bells that go jingle. All right, cute, cute. All right, let's clean up our mess. Clean up our mess and get on to the signatures. Get needle back in here. Clean up all this. Okay. All right. All right. Now pull this off, because we don't want it in our way. Okay, so it's detachable if you're reading and you don't want it bugging you. It is detachable. So I think I'm going to go with this green. I think that'll look good. I could make it contrast and do red, but it's going to be hidden by the charm pretty much anyway most of the time. So I think I'll just go with green. And I think I have more green on the inside pages than I do reds. So probably a better choice anyway. Have a few reds, but not a whole ton. Alright, so put the lighter up. I left these on. I don't think I glued them yet, did I? I might have glued them. No, I did. Okay. We're just going to try to keep them out of our way. It can be a little bit of a pain having the ribbon on there, but we'll try. So I've got hooks. So I've got my little template already made. For this one, I'm just doing a 3-hole instead of a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. So we're doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. We've got our template with the top marked and our holes. The center holes are only for the signatures, so that when I put it in the signatures, I have the center. Okay? The outside holes are for this part because it's a 2-signature journal. Normally I do 3 signatures, but this is a 2. So, and then your template just matches the top and the bottom without this fuzzy stuff on there, because I did it before I put that on there. So it goes like that, and it goes in the middle. This spine happens to be 1.5 inches. And the reason you mark the top is that sometimes your holes don't match up this way and this way. So if you turn it around, something's not going to match, okay? So it's important that you keep a top and you keep it on the top. All right, and then we've got a center spot. I've already got it with my little eyelet there, but basically just in the middle of the spine. This jump ring is going to be a little bit of a pain, but I think I can work around it. I don't want to take it off if I don't have to. So I've got my holes already marked. I just did center, and then I did like, I think it was 1 inch from the top and 1 inch from the bottom. You can put them wherever you want. Some people do it even. I don't like doing it even because it's too far in. I like it to be a little further out. So I think I did like it might be 1.5 inches. It's 1.5 inches from the top and bottom. Okay, so that's where I did mine. And you just want to make sure that it's, you know, in the center where it goes, lined up, and then you want to mark. I've already got these holes poked through with a awl. I'm going to use my chalk pencil. I think that will show best. If it doesn't show, I'll switch to something else. I know it's gonna break because I just sharpened it. It always breaks when I first sharpen it. Get out of my hole. All right, we're not gonna use that chalk pencil. It's not gonna cooperate. Maybe I could get away with a Sharpie. I don't typically use a Sharpie, because you can't erase it or anything, but my chalk pencil's just breaking like crazy, so I think the Sharpie will show up enough on the screen. Just making sure I haven't moved. Tiny bit crumpled. Right there. Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna see if I can see it. Can I see it? Ooh. Maybe it didn't work. Let me try it again. Okay, I think I can see it. It just has to be long enough for me to poke the holes with the awl. I can kind of see it. That one's a little, it's right on a dark spot. Hopefully I can see them good enough. These holes are relatively small still because I just made them. As you reuse your template over and over. Oh, I'm putting holes. I just put marks in the middle. I did not need those marks in the middle. Don't put marks in the middle. It'll confuse you. And I can't erase them, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. You can barely see them anyway. Only marks on the outside. Outside holes. I just told myself that and then I forgot. All right, outside holes. I think I have one in there and there. Yeah, you can barely see them. It's okay. I cannot see that hole at all. Where is it? Hold on. I see that one. I see that one. I'm going to use this to kind of see if I can tell where the holes are. All right. Okay, I see that one. It's just really small. I'm just going to make it bigger. Oh, there that one is. They're hard to see. The white works better, but I think it's right there. Let me just double check. I'm just going to lay this real quick. Hold on. Just want to make sure that is really the hole. Yeah, it is. Okay. Right there. And then this one's here. And this one's here. And I'm ignoring the one I put in the middle. Okay, I think I can see them good enough. Okay, so then you just grab your little soft foamy thing, whatever you have. Some people I see use books. I don't think a book's soft enough personally. Just trying to find it. There it is. I have a discarded insulation thing from a box or something. I don't know what it was from. Some sort of packaging. And my awl. And I'm gonna need these clips, so let me pull them out. I prefer to use the binders. I tried using these type at first, but everything snags on them. And I like a little one for holding my string. Okay, so we're just going to poke our holes. Try and be as accurate as you can. Now this is thick. I've got board. It is a little bit of a hard punch. That's why having this foam is definitely better, I think. If you can find a piece of foam like this, use it. Save it for this type of stuff. Two more. All right, let me make sure. I'm just looking through the light. That's usually how I tell if I can see the holes. And they are good. So I've got these holes punched. You should be able to see them from both sides, hopefully. You can kind of see them. Let's see if you guys can see them. Where are they? All right, so I'm trying to see if they will show. Oh, you can kind of see them there. It's hard to show you guys, but they're there. If I had light underneath, you could tell that way, but they are there. So now we got to put our holes in the signatures. And I usually start with my back cover because I like to work from the back to the front. So this is my front signature and this is my back. So I'm going to open this up to the middle, which in this case is this little fabric flip piece. And make sure everything is lined up. So if you have things that don't go all the way, just make sure they're where you want them. I'm going to put that there. And let's see, is there anything else small in here? That's full size. That's full size. I don't think there's anything else small in this one. Okay, so you want to make sure that it's where you want it and all the pages are flush. And then you want to make sure the pages are nicely seated. Okay, so seat them in there real snug. And then keep it folded a little bit. And take your clip, which I should have opened. It's easier to do with two hands. And put your clip on there. Try to get the whole thing. Okay, this is just to hold it together. We're going to put another clip here for our template. But for right now, I just want these on here to keep it, just to keep it snug. And you know, you want all these little pieces nice and snug in there. All right, I'm just going to let go for a second. So I should have had them opened already, and I didn't. I don't know what, that's my little one. Okay. Let's make sure we're snug still. Nice and snug. You keep it at a 45-degree angle because if you don't, it is not the same when it's flat. It'll open back up this area. We don't want that to happen. So keep it at a 45. Lock everything in. And just making sure everything's still laying where it's supposed to be. I'm trying not to go to the signature spot because I don't want to have to move these clips. I prefer just to leave them there the whole time and not deal with moving them. And then I'll use the other clips to hold my little card in because they're just temporary while I poke holes. Okay, so once you got that in and you know it's nice and snug, everything's in its proper place, you know the top, in case it's not directional, put your little thing in there. At the top, you're going to have to figure out where it hits. It might hit exactly the same because these little gold mooks are the same. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's a little different in your cover. This one hits the same. So put that in there at an angle and clip it down. You can usually just clip opposite sides, it'll be fine. You just want it to stay while you poke the holes. Now, as you poke your holes, you've got to keep it closed. Not closed, but like this. Okay, don't try to lay it flat. Your holes won't go in right. You can put something under if you think you're going to need it, but I usually don't. And then as it's at a 45 or so, find your middle hole. Remember, for this one, it's the middles, not the outsides, just the middle. Okay, keep it at an angle and push. And what that's going to do is it's going to poke it through. Where is it? It's going to poke it through right at the center of that spot. If you open it up any, it won't do that. It won't poke through where it's supposed to. It'll be off center and looking weird. So keep it at an angle. And get them all in there good. And then you can take out just that little template. Before, I was hooking it on with these two and then having to fight to move these and keep it together. By doing it this way and putting this on with something different, I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to keep trying to keep it together. I think that should make sense. Okay, so now we've got that. We got our cover. Make sure you know the top and bottom. You're gonna have to keep your ribbons out of the way. And then we're going to get our wax thread. We're using wax. I'm just going to come back out because I'm gonna be moving a lot. So wax thread, you want 3 times the length. So 1, 2, 3. That will give you plenty. Usually a little extra. But I do mine loose and then tighten them so that I like the little extra. You need a needle, which I can grab. Some of these needles, I've blunted the edges, the ends, because if you blunt the end or buy a blunt needle, it won't pierce something you don't want it to. It'll just go through the existing hole. I'm trying to find the one I like. I think it's this one. So I don't know if I can show you that, what I mean, but do you see how that's not super sharp? Whereas they started out like this, very sharp. And I just sanded it until I got it blunt. But I know you can buy blunt ones. I just didn't have any. And that just keeps you from accidentally piercing your thread or doing things like that. It does help a lot if it's not sharp. Because you definitely don't need it sharp. All right, thread through. Leave a little bit so that it doesn't come out. And for a 3-hole pamphlet, you just start at the middle. Okay, so just poke it through and get it to where you want it to go for your tail. And I'm just going to use this little extra one I pulled out to hold this tail in place. And I just do that because I don't want to have to worry about pulling it out. So that way it's secure, it's on there, it's not going anywhere. And I know it's out of my way. All right, 3 holes are pretty easy. They're not as complicated as the 5-hole for sure. So you just go in through that one and then you come through the correct one. We're going in the back, so this one. Pull it. I'm not going to pull it all the way snug because I don't want to have to try to line it up that way. All right, so then you can go top or bottom. I don't bottom, so pick the same line. Find the bottom. I can feel it more than I can see it. Find that. I could have made those a little bit bigger. They're pretty tight. I might have to make it a little bit bigger. Don't know why I didn't go very big, but it did not. So I'm just gonna. Otherwise, well, I'm not coming back through that, am I? Though I'm gonna go ahead and make this other one bigger, though. Sometimes if this is deeper, it gets bigger as you go toward the top. Not all awls do that, but this one does. And if I don't go at the right depth, it's too narrow of a hole. So I'm just gonna. My needle almost wouldn't go through that. That's better. Okay. So I went through the bottom on this case and then pull it back snug because I just pulled it all loose. I keep about 1 inch because it just makes it easier to work with, I think. Find your hole. I can't see it at all, but I think I can feel it. All right, find the hole. And you go through all of those. Okay, like I said, I'm not pulling it snug yet because it's just too hard to work with. And then you skip the middle one and you go all the way to the top one. Okay, come through your signatures. Make sure you're not snagging on anything. And come through the back one, which is right here. Okay, now you want to go back through the center, but you want to make sure, you want to make sure that your thread is out of the way. So figure out which way it goes. On this side, it's going this direction, but on this side, it can go either. So I'm going to push it the same way as the outside. so that I know I'm not going to pierce it when I go through this side of the hole. Okay, you don't want to pierce that thread. If you do, you won't be able to move it. It'll be stuck. And sorry, my tail's too long. You'll just have issues. So try not to pierce it. Same thing here. Just make sure that thread is on one side or the other. Try to keep it with your, sometimes it's really hard to move, but try to keep it on one side. Line it up. Hopefully I'm hitting it in the right spot. Don't pierce your thread. You'll know if you pierce it. It's usually pretty obvious. Then you'll have to pull it back out and do it again. Okay, come over on the other side of that. You want one on one side, one on the other side. See, I have plenty of extra thread. And then you want to tighten everything up. Okay, like I said, doing the 3 holes is definitely easier than the 5s. If you can't tighten it all at once, I usually just play with it and tighten one side and then the other side and figure out which one to pull. That's always the challenge. I think it's this one. Yep, there. So I'm just snugging everything up. Make sure it's nice and snug. Make sure everything is tight to that, and make sure this isn't real loose and wobbly. It can be, you know, tiny bit wobbly, but you don't want it wobbly. And give it another snug. Each side of that, go ahead and tie your knot. Okay, that's locking that signature in. And I do a double knot, try to do a square knot, and then you can put the little strings. I like to hang them down because that way, if anyone wants to put charms on it, I leave a little extra so that a charm could be put on there later. If they don't like it, they can just cut it off. They can tie it in a bow, whatever. I leave that up to the buyer. Okay, so this one's done. You can pop these off. All your little clips. And that signature is in there. Okay, everything should be fine and in the right spot. All right, so now we can do signature 2. Our ribbons haven't been too bad. Granted, like I said, 3 a hole is so much easier than a 5. So much easier. I do a 5 a lot because I do a lot of big, heavy journals with lots of stuff in them, and a 5 is just safer. So I'm just going to make sure everything is lined up. I'll just do it like this first. And then I'll see if there's short page. I know there's short pages in this one, so I'm just going to try to find them. Make sure they are in the right spots. Never put nothing there, did I? It's okay. All right. Full length. Oh, here we go. So this one's short. So I could leave it at the bottom as long as the hole hit, and it's not going to. So we're going to move it up to where it should hit the top and bottom. So I think about here should be safe. And you can double check with your template if you're not sure. Through it on both sides if possible, then it doesn't wiggle so much, especially on a 3. On a 5 it's not usually an issue, there's plenty, but on the 3 it is a little more sensitive. I'm just making sure it looks like it's in the right spot. Try to hold it there. And then this one, this is our center. So this is a little different than normal because I left a pocket to be closed later. So this one, because of how I use this piece, my signature is going to be inside here, and then this will be glued down and it'll hide that center spot. I'll still leave the tails out. I'll just glue around them, but it will hide the center on this one, which is just, it's a little different. I haven't actually done one like this, I don't think. Okay, so just make sure it stays where it's supposed to stay because that is the center. We'll just mess with it a little bit. later. Trying to keep it snug. So that's the other side of that one. Make sure it's still, everything's folding right. I don't think there's any others that need moved. I think that's the only one I had. Yep. Okay. So that should be in its correct spot. I'll double check, but don't think it moved. Yeah, it looks okay. So we're going to find the center, which is that spot here. Okay, and then we're going to snug everything down, same as the other side. Make sure that it's flush as it needs to be. And then add, sorry, I'm trying to hold it and do everything too. Put your clip on there. I can't tell if it's even. I think it is, but it looks a little off down here. Flush. I need you flush there. That's better. All right, so making sure that this is staying tight. I'm adding my clips. This side, I want to make sure that this little thing is open because I want the signature hidden in there. Okay, so add my little clips. I can just make sure it's snug, looks snug. Close those down. Flip it around. Same thing here. Snug. And that one's a little off. Hold on. Not quite as snug as I wanted it. The lace makes it a little trickier because you can't hold the pages as easily. So having the lace on there already is trickier, but I've found putting the lace on after is harder. So I will deal with the trickiness of having the lace on there first. All right, nice and snug. Okay. Now, all right, here's where our middle is. Find our little template. Top goes on the top. And it's getting hidden in here. So you want to put it flush, flush, squish it in, give it a little clip, and give it a little clip. All right, make sure it's all the way squished in. Poke your holes. They should come through right at the point. So 1, 2, and 3. All right, now you can take that off. Everything should stay where it's supposed to. And grab your signatures. Everything out of the way. We need thread. 1, 2, 3. And our needle, which, there it is. I found it. Thread our needle. It's wax, so if it comes apart, you can just squish it back together. Okay. Make sure we are the right direction. Looks the right direction. Okay. Find your center. Get you started. My little tail. I'm just going to put my tail on here so it doesn't come off. Okay. And in through the middle hole. Hold on. It's not big enough. It's like I said, this is thick. I've got like 2 pieces of cardboard in that spine. So it's pretty heavy duty thickness there. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, so hole number 1. Leave about an inch. I like to go to the bottom. I don't know why. It's just the direction I go. And this one's tight too. They're all tight. I think it's just because I have like so much cardboard there. Just gonna open that up just a little bit more. Okay. And through this one. Just make sure I'm in the center. It's missing a page somewhere. I can feel it's not quite hitting right. All right, I'm gonna poke my hole better. I think it's just not fat enough. Just a little bit fatter. If you ever have issues and you're fighting with it, just try to poke your hole bigger. It'll make your life easier. All the way to the top this time. So you skip the middle one, go all the way to the top. Pull it through. And through that one. Nope. Almost feels like they're closing back up. I guess the cardboard could do that. That's what it feels like. Go through. All right. Now we want to go to the middle. Remember, keep your thread the direction that it is on the front so that it's out of the way, so you don't split it. I just pull it snug with I have my thumb pulling it snug there, and then on this side I stay on this side of it, just so I don't accidentally split it. My ribbon's in the way, but kind of see. Didn't split it. I think I'm okay. Trying to tell. I think I got some. I might have a little piece of material in there, but as long as it tightens, I'm okay. And then same thing here. Keep it to one side, whichever side you like. I feel like I have glue on this needle. And then pull it around your cinch up. You can pull the others at this point, but I usually don't. It's easier to work with if you don't. All right, so try to snug everything up. Which one is it? This one? Just make sure it looks snug there, and snug there. All right, everything is snug. Tie it in a knot. Tie it in a knot. Now for this one, because I am gluing this down, this one's a little different than normal. Just pull these off real quick. Pull off my little stickers. I keep these flat when they're in my box because they fit better. Alright, so now typically I would just be like that and wouldn't have to worry about this. But because of this one, so this D still stays there because that's where that ephemera is going. But this So you can decide what you want to do with the thread. Okay, in my case, I like to pull them at the bottom so that I can put a charm on them or something if I want to. Now, I'm going to pull this down here, and hopefully it will stay there. It could possibly get lost, but we're going to hope it stays. So I'm just going to trim that off, and we're going to go ahead and glue this pocket. So this is just a pocket. We're going to glue it here and here. So the glue there. And remember, I want this to kind of stay. I could honestly glue it. I'm just going to run a little bead there to try to keep that kind of cooperating while I glue this. And glue here. And make our pocket. Okay. Now, you won't see that inside middle of it this time. It'll be invisible because it's hidden inside there. If you do an envelope, a lot of people do that way with an envelope too. Say you've got an envelope that you've opened up for some reason. You can do that and then close your envelope after. Same kind of thing. Okay, so now we've got our two signatures in there. They're all sewed in good. Everything looks good. We look pretty flush. I think we're good. So now we got to add back all of our ephemera. Put my lid on. And I've got my pile of stickers. There's a needle loose in this thing and it drives me crazy. I need to put it somewhere else. Okay, so I've got my pile of stickers. QR. I don't know how that got out of line. All right, I used up to Q, I think. I didn't put that in the right spot. That goes underneath. These are my numbers in case I run out of with the alphabet. Sometimes I do. All right, so my stickers. I got my bag of ephemera that I've already done. And all I do is go through it. I'm going to put this needle up because I'm going to lose it. Where's the holder? Oh, I've already lost the holder. It's somewhere. I don't see it. Okay. Y'all probably see it. It's not in there. Oh, I found it. Looks like I lost it already. Alright, in you go. Out of my way. Okay, so I've got my pile. And I literally just go through. Try to make myself room. And A goes in A, obviously. So I'm going to need tweezers because I can't pull anything up. So I take my two little stickers. And I reuse these. So actually, I need to be going from the other. That's okay. We'll just go from A. So I'm going to turn it upside down right there. And then make sure you put A where it goes. Goes there. And then I just continue through. I don't guess I made anything for there, which I should do. I don't know. I'll figure out something. All right, B. Sometimes if it won't stick good, I just use a little piece of tape because I've been reusing these for a while now. And then the card. So it's just a Christmas card. Now I'm going to do a proper flip through of this on, what is today? Wednesday? I'm going to do it on Friday. Let me pull out one of these packages. Hold on. I know I'm probably not in camera. Hold on. So these little packages go in this vellum. Or envelopes and packages in here. But I'm just going to put this one back here. Like that. Now, I did take C out, and the only reason I took this out, it wouldn't have moved per se, but it could squish so far down that it gets locked in the signature, And I didn't want that to happen, so I did go ahead and pull it out just in case. So now it fits like this. It was a tight fit, so I wasn't sure. Honestly, it kind of needs trimmed. It barely fits in there, but I'll leave it. Okay, so that's that. D. So now D fits in its pocket properly. I don't know which one was which. I guess it's this one. Yeah. Okay, so that goes in there. And then on the other side, we have E. Upside down. Upside down. I try to keep these together. It just makes my life easier the next time I go to do it. So this one's a card. Goes in there. F. That goes in there. And then G. This one I did not take out because it wasn't going to move or anything or cause a problem, so that's still in there. That is just a little postcard. Okay, and then this one goes behind. And then we have H, which I showed y'all earlier. And that goes there. My note. Nothing there, nothing there. And J. I don't know where J is. What? Where's J? It's not this. Oh, there it is. It's like, where'd J go? You got out of order. Oh, I missed I. Where's I? I'm so confused. Did I miss I? Totally did. There it is. That's why. Alright. I'm confusing myself. Sorry. H-I-J. I. This is a cute little Christmas card. It's got like a song on the back. Alright, so now J. There. L is on the inside, which I believe is the shaker card. So this journal has 58 pages, 2 signatures, and it is for sale. I'm going to do $75 plus shipping, tax if you're in Georgia. So this is going to be a less expensive one, but it didn't take as long. These little Golden Book Ultra Book ones, they vary in price. I have seen them as low as $55, but I have seen them as high as $250. I think that's insane. But you know, for what it took me and for the amount of pages and stuff I used, I think $75 plus tax and shipping is reasonable. So that's what this is going to be priced at if you want it. First come, first serve. I'll give you all a chance to let me know first, and if not, I will throw it on my website. Where is M? I just taped these fabrics down because I was worried they would move. They're just little flips. Of course, the tape doesn't, but it held long enough for the signature to be sewed in. Did I miss M? Or am I just not got to it yet? There it is. All right. In. There. And then in was on the inside. Another little Christmas card. That goes in there. Oh. I didn't decorate this one. I just left it. It's some Stamperia paper. It's kind of pretty like it is, but if you wanted to do something to it, you could. I'm just going to leave it like that. And last one is P. Okay, and we just have a couple of different cards, Stamperia also. I did not do a writing board for this one. I don't really have a good pocket for a writing board, 1. And 2, I really didn't think it needed one. So this one has a shaker card, a charm tassel, 2 signatures, and it does have some kind of hidden pockets here. I don't think we have anything in them. So there's a hidden pocket right here that was formed when we put that one in there. So you can put stuff in there. And then there's another one somewhere else. Let's see if I can find it. Where was it? I remember there was 2. I think there was 2. Do y'all remember? I feel like there was 2. Where was it? Not there. Not there. Maybe there wasn't. Not there. Is it here? No. No. I don't know. Maybe there wasn't 2. Nothing there. I may have ended up gluing it. Nope, there it is. I found it. It's here. So on the Santa envelope, there's another hidden pocket at the top that you could put something in. So I could possibly put a writing board there. If I kept it at a reasonable size, I think I could fit one in there. Typically, I make them 5.5 by 8. Let me see if I have one handy. Here, I'll grab the B one. I want to see how it fits. It might fit. If it'll fit, I might go ahead and make one. I don't know. It doesn't take me that long to make them. Let me see where this B one is. I think it's in the side pouch. Let's see. Can I fit one in there? Ooh. It's a little tall. Yeah, it'll fit in either one of those spots. So maybe I'll make a writing board to put in there. I don't know if it needs it, but it does have a lot of journaling space, so it might. They're nice to have anyway. So I'll try to make a writing board for it. I'll just show it on the flip through on Friday. I'll get it done tonight or something. Okay. This bee journal is still for sale too, guys. Somebody buy it. All right, so I don't know where I was now. I think we're done. All right, so that is our journal. A lot of pockets. A couple of like kind of sort of hidden pockets at the top. Some pretty, material and lace and ribbon and stuff. End protectors. And our charm dangle. It's a nice one for 75 bucks. You guys don't see them from me for 75 very often, so this is a chance for those who maybe can't afford my normal ones to grab one at a decent price. Okay? Not that my others aren't price decent, but, I know how it is. I'm on a budget myself, so there we go. I think it's cute. And it just ties. I wouldn't tie this super tight because it'll squish the, ribbons and lace down because they do stick out. But you can tie it, like that, and they won't get all squishy too much. Okay, that's it, guys. Like I said, I'll do a proper flip through, just so I have one on video of it because I like to do that. And I'll do that Friday. And then I got to figure out what I'm going to do next. I honestly do not know. I don't know. I feel like I'm not sure if I'm ready to do Halloween. I mean, it's just now, we're just getting into August. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready. I feel like I should, because if I don't, I won't have time to do all the Christmas stuff I want to do. But I don't know. The stores have stuff already, so I can probably find stuff. I don't have hardly any Halloween fabrics. Matter of fact, I don't even think I have any Halloween fabrics. I have one with like stars and moons that's kind of Halloween-y, but I really don't. So, and Hobby Lobby does not sell Halloween stuff, so I'd have to go to Michael's. And luckily my Michael's does have a decent amount of fabric, so I could go there and see what they have, because, you know, Joann's is no more, so. I will probably go and see what they have and decide if I want to go ahead and do a Halloween one. And then when Christmas time gets ready for that, I'm going to do a Christmas vignette and I'm going to do a Christmas journal. I'm not going to do a Halloween vignette, I don't think, this year. I've got 2 already. I don't really need any more. Y'all have seen me do them. I don't know. I don't have anything new that's yelling at me, hey, do a vignette with me right now, so we're just going to leave it. But I don't know. If y'all want to see something, you need to tell me. I was debating, is there anything I can do in between now and when I feel like I should do Halloween? But everybody's starting to do Halloween, guys. So I don't know. Do you think it's too soon? Do you not? Do you care? I don't know. So that's what I got to decide. I thought about trying to do something else, but honestly, I don't know what it would be. I can't think of a theme that I really want to do right now. I thought about doing another farmhouse journal. I don't know. I have some travel stuff, but honestly, I'm not real into travel journals. So I don't know that I want to do a travel one. Y'all let me know. What is a theme you would like to see me do right now? I could start Halloween, if I did it in, say, the end of August. I would finish it September. That would give me October and November to do Christmas stuff, which is reasonable. So technically I have August to squeeze something else into. I could do a painting possibly, if I could find something I want to paint. I just don't know. So let me know. Tell me in the comments, send me a private message, whatever, and let me know what you think. All right, guys. But that's it for tonight. I'll see you guys on Friday. We'll talk some more then. But I'll do actual real flip through of this one. All right, guys. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of the evening. All right. Bye-bye. Farmhouse flowers, cows, Kim says. All right. I do have farmhouse stuff. All right. Bye.